He's Encore Friday. I main event.
So let's talk about coming back to MSG. Last time you fought here, you won. You beat Wanderlei.
What a dump. What a dump. The place stinks. You smell that? It stinks. In my hometown, we tear a building like this down. You couldn't get a city ordinance and be this old. It's got mildew. This place is a dump.
What else besides it stinks around here? What else? What do you think of the people of New York City? What do you think of the cabbies or the buildings? What do you think?
Excuse me. As bad as the buildings are, I prefer them to the people. Let's just stay on the architecture.
But you're back here. You're going to be fighting Lyoto Machida. Just curious to know, did you two ever have any interaction when you were in the UFC at the time? Did you ever have positive or negative?
I had a fight booked with Machida for less than 24 hours. Lorenzo booked a fight. I went to practice that night and prepared for him. Dana heard about it the next day and said they're not fighting each other. So I don't have any more to the story than that. But I remember when that fight got called off, I remember feeling a sense of relief just because he's so awkward, right? And particularly back then, before there was a lot of footage on him, before you could see the stuff he was doing, he had a lot of unique skills. He still has those, but at least we have some footage of it. And but other than that, no, I never crossed paths with him.
Is he still as awkward now, even to this day?
Well, I think now just because there's some footage of him, at least you can know a little bit of what you're going into and what his better weapons are. I've never sparred with a guy that fights like he does. I've never fought a guy that fights like he does. I kind of have one crack to solve, the Rubik's Cube, and it's going to be a live competition. But I feel like that's everybody that's ever fought him. I've been to a lot of gyms. There's no Machidas out there. He's got a really unique style.
And so how do you prepare for a fight against a guy who is as unique as Machida?
I'll tell you this. I mean, let's look at the other side of the coin. He's only got 2 arms and 2 legs. There's only so much thing. He can throw a right hand or he can throw a left hand, right? There's really nothing in between. He can throw a left kick or he can throw a right kick. There's really nothing in between. Sooner or later, he's going to have to throw a kick. He just has to. He's been doing it since he was 8 years old. He's not going to control himself. And like everybody else who's ever thrown a kick at me, I will run his ass down. And when I do, he will never get up. I'm 3 takedowns away from beating Lyoto Machida.
And so you beat him. Do you think you're the next contender for the light heavyweight championship?
Oh, come on. I could fight for the light heavyweight anytime I wanted to. Ryan Bader can't sell flies. Nobody knows who Ryan Bader is. You got to tell you Ryan Bader. I got to say his first and last name. Nobody has to say Chael Sonnen. Say Chael. They all know who I am. Say the American Gangster. You call me 10 different monikers. Everybody will know exactly who you're talking about. I got to say it really slowly to try to build this guy. Ryan Bader. I got to do my best to build it up. If I was to fight Bader right now, nobody would come. It'd be like a wedding. You'd have one side all there to see Chael. Then you have Ryan Bader's side with his mom and his wife standing there waving the American flag around. Nobody wants to see him fight. He's the champion of the world. He needs to beg me to take the fight. It's the first time in MMA history the champion's not in the driver's seat. They're going to anoint me #1 contender. I may deny Ryan Bader the opportunity. And he's got the goddamn belt. I could put a belt over my shoulder and tell people I was Ryan Bader. Nobody know the difference. I could put a belt on this bottle of water and call it Ryan Bader. Nobody knows it's a goddamn difference. I could set that at the dinner table and his mother would feed it macaroni and cheese. She doesn't know what the hell he looks like.
So you did say some things about that when you were sparring with him in wrestling, that you beat him all the time.
I used to always beat Bader in the rooms. Ask Bader about our training sessions. He's never won a round against me. First time I ever met Ryan Bader, he came to ask me for an autograph and a picture, and I gave him one. I put him in a headlight, and he was younger than me. I gave him like a little noogie. He put it out on Instagram, and so he thought it was a cool thing. It was a cool thing. I was doing it to be a favor. I was doing it to be a favor to some young kid. Now the young kid's got a belt? Come on, man. You give anybody a belt.
Yeah, I'm assuming the same fight will go the same way. You get into a fight with him, you can just beat him down like you used to at the...
Beat him down. I used to beat him down all the time. He's never forgot that. Never. There's guys right now that could come in here and I would bow down to them. That might surprise. There's a guy named Les Gutchis. He used to kick my ass so bad. I've never forgotten it. He's 50 years old now. He hasn't trained in 30 years. He had to stop because he had an injury. I would not cross that man to this day. You do not forget when somebody did to you what I did to Ryan Bader.
I also had some pro wrestling questions. What do you think about this whole AEW thing that's coming about? Did you see their show that they just had?
I saw it. I liked it. I thought for my $59.99 it was well worth it. I thought anybody that was unsigned came out there. They started with a battle royal. It was a piece of crap, but the show got better. Main event was solid. The post-main, the little bit of an encore theater that we had, I thought was really solid. I don't know that they're competition for the WWE because I'm not sold that Vince McMahon isn't behind the whole thing. I think that we might possibly be being worked. I'm getting very similar feels to the AEW as I was to when WEC was running. I thought that Vince was behind the WEC. Then we found out he owned it. He had a partnership agreement and had sent them some money. So I'm not positive we got competition going on, but I think if you're a wrestling fan, now you have something else to watch.
And speaking of wrestling, one thing that I wanted to ask is about Chael Sonnen and the mystic Chael Sonnen. So one of the people that you talked about in a lot of your videos was Henry Cejudo, and saying that he's got to listen to you, that he's got to bring it up, so to speak. And it looks like he's been doing that lately. Is there any other fighters out there that you think that need to take your advice when it comes to the MMA
think
game?
They need to understand that we are in the entertainment phase of MMA, and the entertainment era is showing no signs of weakening. MMA is growing, and I think this is where we're going to be for a meaningful period of time. I think what Henry Cejudo is doing is perfect. I think it's spot on, and it looks like he's having fun. That's not going to work for everybody. You can't just put on a cape and a crown, and a lot of times you're going to look like a fool, and you're going to feel like one. You're going to be sweating, and your skin's going to turn colors. Everybody's looking. Cejudo likes it. He's having fun with it, and that's why it works. He realizes that he's looking like a gesture. He doesn't mind. It's very hard to look away from a guy that's having success. I'll remind you, when Floyd Mayweather came out with the rapper gimmick and was peeling out the money and throwing money around the gold watch, people were really turned off by that. That was unsportsmanlike. That was disgusting. That's not what the sport was. Now they call him Money Mayweather. He used to be Pretty Boy Floyd. Now they call him Money Mayweather. Now you got the money team going. Now you're selling pay-per-views all over. This is not what people want, and it's expected. People over a period of time will love you for the same things they hated you for. You're going to have a number of fans that push back and go, that's not what this is about. It's about the punches and the kicks, and it's a straight line sport. Those fans don't even know. They don't even know. They don't mean it. They only think they mean it. I would challenge any one of those fans to think the words don't matter to watch the next pay-per-view with mute on the TV. They won't do it because they're not going to have a lot of fun. Words matter.
Any words for your fans or anybody else out there, Machida? Anything you want to say to the world?
No. Yeah, tell my fans they're very wise for liking me, and I don't give a damn about any one of them. They should have hooked their hitch to a different horse because it's a one-man street and it's Team Chael, not Team Us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sonnen. Appreciate it.